Hello, my name is Sean Akroy. I'm the founder and CEO of Yellowdig. Great to be here. Just a quick question. Can you raise your hand if you're an educator in this room? Okay, maybe like 10% educated. So this is, to be perfectly honest, this is not quite an investor pitch, but I think you'll get something out of it about what we do. You just heard from Upswing the issue with retention, and this is the same story, which is the new thing you'll see here is that it kind of quantifies how big is the problem. So this data is from a study that was done in 2013 by the Education Policy Institute, where they quantify the total size of the problem is about $16 billion from a data set of 1,600 universities. They took their average attrition numbers and kind of took their tuition fees and basically saw that what's the amount of loss the colleges are incurring because of this huge dropout that's happening. So it's a worthwhile problem to solve. And at Yellowdig, our point of view is that there are many ways of attacking this problem, so we are solving in one particular way, which I'm happy to share with you today. The new reality is that students are spending more time online than probably in physical spaces like this. An average student between 18 and 36 years, they're spending about 5 hours, between 5 and 6 hours a day, looking at peer-generated content in social media and many other sources. And they're actually ending up trusting that content more than other sources, like the peer-generated content is more trusted than what probably they're reading in their syllabus. This is something that needs to be considered when we're thinking about solving retention, because what is happening is that a lot of the students, rather than looking at content that has been provided by the instructors, are actually looking at social media and trying to learn from there. Our hypothesis was that why try to bend that trend? Why not use that basic nature and try to kind of turn it around and make it useful for learning? So we built Yellowdig. So at Yellowdig, the way we approached building this platform was we tried to build the best technology we can build in terms of creating a social experience, but made it very private and configurable so that we can work with instructors, professors, universities to really design the right learning environment. To give you an example, Yellowdig is being used for courses to build course-based learning communities where students can bring in content from a variety of sources, engage with one another in a very natural way. Gamification is something that we do on our platform, and for that as well, we created a lot of ways instructors and universities can engage their students through creating different games within the platform, such as our point system, our badging systems, and that also is very configurable. Branded and secure, so the entire platform doesn't look like it's a third-party tool. So when we work with universities, it almost becomes part of their technology stack, which is why we don't want to be a third-party tool within their tool set, but actually be part of their environment and feel like it's actually Yellowdig becomes the university's homepage. So what does it mean from a student standpoint? I want to give you a few examples. So essentially what happens is that students bring their complete self into the learning process. This is an example. Michael, he's taking a course in health sciences, and he's a funny guy. So he brought in an article he read somewhere, and wants to talk about his bacon or breakfast food and why. And let's discuss that. And it got a lot of engagement. Is that a real learning that a professor will post? Most likely not. But it's quite interesting that students will want to bring in that and actually have conversations around it in an environment where they're engaging with their peers, and that happens on our platform. Corey, for example, is a MBA student, and she is very interested in blockchain, and she's trying to figure out how does she motivate and move towards this new kind of opportunity that she's seeing, and she's engaging with her classmates and their university friends around that. Jenna is very interested to be a professor, a teacher herself, and she's trying to find her motivation, why she wants to be a teacher, and she's engaging with one another in the classrooms. So this is what happens. So when you bring social learning within a learning environment, what happens is that it becomes a lot more human, a lot more emotional, and that is what probably sometimes is missing in a lot of our learning environments. What we have seen is, so we work with about 35 or so top universities in the country, And this, on the left side, you see is our growth rate. We've been around for 4 years, founded the company 4 years back. And we have been perfecting the solution. Last year, we had probably 3 times the kind of engagement that we have ever seen in our platform. A lot of the ideas, the best ideas came from our partners as opposed to us. So we see ourselves as the technology builders, but we rely on our partners to do a lot of the innovation behind. This is a controlled study that we did with one of our institution partners. There were 3,000 students in the study. What we found is that using a social learning platform like Yellowdig, implemented in the right way, can improve engagement by as much as 2 times. And so these are 3 different courses where we were doing a pilot, and we kind of saw pretty high engagement on Yellowdig as compared to the discussion board they were using otherwise. And more interestingly, the retention numbers went up. So there are different numbers here you're looking at, but the most important one is the continuation, which is they completed one course, but did they move on to the next course? And we saw that between 4 and 7% improvement in retention when our platform was used. And this is what motivates us, and essentially we are hyper-focused on this. Our goal is to build the best engagement platform, which is social at the core, and we want to co-create with our institution partners and move this number so that we can save some money for these institutions as well as also kind of improve lives. Thank you very much.